Good evening, everyone. I'm Bo Evans. This barrel is more than just a prop. It's double padded to protect rodeo clowns in case a bull comes for them head on. Just a month ago, not a single head in this sunflower field had bloomed. But with some timely rain and cooler temperatures, you can see the difference it's made. And that's just in North Dakota. Nationwide, vehicle crashes are the #1 cause of death for people ages 14 through 24. It's a great night to be a Fighting Hawks fan as the team is making its NCAA tournament debut. Well, many of us played with bubbles as children. If you're like me, you played with them yesterday. You can see the temperature says -7 degrees, but with the wind chill, it's closer to -20. The runners were excited about the overcast day, keeping them cool as they go. And speaking of overcast, let's check in with Emily Hillman on the weather. We were told that if we were in law enforcement's way, we would be arrested too. These buses are equipped with an 8-way warning light system. Currently, I'm standing in about 5 inches of water. So let's go right to the road cam, and as you can see, those flashing lights up there, those are some street plows. Jay Cutler's back in the league. I'm excited. Smoking Jay.
Hasn't had 16 games since 2009.
That's all right. We'll be right back. A 33-year-old man is dead after a vehicle rollover near Walhalla in northeastern North Dakota. The accident happened at 11:45 p.m. Friday. The Highway Patrol says a 31-year-old man driving a pickup failed to negotiate a curve and went into the ditch. Native American students in North Dakota are struggling in school despite the state's overall high school graduation rates remaining high. Well, Papa's Pumpkin Patch is on their last day and are ending the season with a bit of goodwill. John Salling has more. And like they said in the package, Emily, it wasn't the best day. We even got a little bit of rain. Some 200 people attended a funeral for one of 3 men killed in Wednesday's workplace shooting in Edgewood, Maryland. Jose Oscar Hidalgo Romero was remembered as a loving father who was working to raise money to send his family in El Salvador so he could send his children to school there. Authorities have arrested and charged a co-worker with the fatal shootings. They say a motive is still unknown. The funeral service for a U.S. soldier killed in Africa was held in South Florida today. Chopper video shows dozens of mourners exiting the 90-minute service for Sergeant LaDavid Johnson from a suburban Fort Lauderdale church. Could we find out more about the assassination of JFK? President Trump says he will allow the release of thousands of government documents related to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Trump said in a tweet, subject to the receipt of more information, he will permit the classified JFK files to be opened. Well, coming up, a new way to keep the state's pheasant population thriving. Find out in this week's edition of North Dakota Outdoors. We are on Century Road now, and we are right behind a couple of plows, so let's go right to the road cam. And as you can see, those flashing lights up there, those are some street plows. So they are clearing off Century Road, about to cross Washington, and we've just been following them. There is quite a long line of cars behind us. Now they're turning left back onto Washington to get the northern part of that road cleared off. But, you know, when we're right behind them, it's okay. But when we are not, we are driving in some deep, deep, deep snow. So you want to make sure that you can stay away from that if you can. But for more on the forecast, let's go back to Kevin Lawrence in the studio. Kevin. Mixed emotion as the deadline to leave camp loomed.
It comes down to it, then I'll let them arrest me.
My plan is to exit before 2 p.m.
Well, my plan is to stay here.
Protesters burned structures, they say for ceremonial purposes. While the land is owned by the federal government, some protesters say it belongs to Native Americans.
This trees are void, so this land is ours. By law, by right, you know, by inherent right, this land is ours.
While not everyone is choosing to stay, they are working up until the deadline.
My mission here today is helping evacuate elders and children, and that's what I'm working on this morning.
It is just past 2 p.m. here at the Ocheti-Sakoan camp. We are waiting to see who will stay in the camp after that and what police will do.
To simply leave while being a resistance camp in order to delegitimize what we're doing there.
Law enforcement say they want to avoid conflict.
We don't want to come in here and arrest people, but we understand that there's going to be people that are not going to leave.
After 4 p.m., a brief confrontation between protesters and law enforcement took place, and 11 demonstrators were arrested. A force of close to 200 officers moved in Thursday morning and cleared out those who remained. The Oceti-Sakowin protest camp is closed. Bo Evans, NBC North Dakota News. The state produced more than 1 billion pounds of sunflowers last year, and until a few weeks ago, that looked to be in serious jeopardy. The future of these sunflowers wasn't always so bright.
We just didn't know if there'd be a sunflower harvest, you know.
Sunflower farmers Kurt Coleman and his brother Clark were struggling with drought conditions like the rest of the state. Just a month ago, not a single head in this sunflower field had bloomed. But with some timely rain and cooler temperatures, you can see the difference it's made.
With the rain we've had here the last 2 to 3 weeks, it's just really perked up the crop, and in a lot of cases, I think producers are going to have a normal yield, or at least close to normal.
That's what's going to determine our yield.
But farmers aren't in the clear yet.
We need to keep getting some timely rains to get these heads to fill all the way to the center.
And they know not everyone is so lucky. Farmers across the state are struggling with these conditions.
It's tough to see when one guy doesn't even have anything to harvest. You know, I feel it. I mean, because I've been there.
The Colemans will keep plugging along and hoping for the best.